Hi, I want to do a funny story for you today. It's called The Mud Puddle by Robert Munsch, one of my favorite authors. Tony's watching from behind here. The Mud Puddle. I'm going to tell the story rather than read the story. So it's my version of the Mud Puddle. Julianne got some new clothes. She put on her clean new shirt and she buttoned it up the front. And then she put on her clean new pants and she buttoned them up the front. And then she went outside to play. She sat down in her sandbox under the apple tree. But little did she know that up in the apple tree was the mud puddle. It came over the top of her head and fell out of the tree. Julianne screamed and she got all over muddy and she ran in the house and said, "Mama, Mama, Mama, a mud puddle jumped on me." Oh, Julianne, her mama said, "Come on." So she took off her clothes and she put her in the tub and she washed her face. And she cleaned her ears. Then she told her, "Get dressed and go outside to play." So Julianne got dressed and put on her clean new shirt, buttoned it up the front, and clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. And then she went back outside. She sat down in her sandbox and she was playing. It was a beautiful day. And behind the doghouse was the mud puddle. It came slithering across the grass and came around behind Julianne, and it rose up and Julianne screamed again. Oh, ran back in the house. "Mama, Mama, a mud puddle jumped on me and got me all dirty again." "Oh, Julianne," her mother said, "come on." So she put her back in the tub after she took her clothes off, and she washed her all off. Washed her face, washed out her ears, cleaned out her nose, and then she said, "Julianne, get dressed." So Julianne put on a clean new shirt, buttoned it up the front, some clean new pants, and buttoned them up the front. And then her mama said, "Go outside and play, but don't get dirty." "All right, Mama." This time, Julianne had an idea. She went into the closet and she got her yellow raincoat. She put on her raincoat, and then she got her yellow rain hat, and she put it on her head. Then she went outside. She looked all around. She didn't see the mud puddle. So she went out and she played in her sandbox. But it was so hot. The sun was beating down on her head, and she was so warm. She thought, maybe I could just take off my hat. Should she do that? Well, she was hot, so she took off her hat and she put it down next to her. She was playing and digging and making a castle, but she was so hot. She looked all around. She didn't see the mud puddle anywhere, so she took off her raincoat and she put it next to her. Well, on the other side of the fence, you know what was there. The mud puddle. It came over the fence. It slid across the ground. It went behind the doghouse. It peeked behind the apple tree. And right when Julianne was getting ready to put the special top on her sandcastle, it came up behind her head and not again! Julianne ran in the house. "Mama, Mama, that mud puddle jumped on me again and got me all muddy." "Oh, Julianne," her mama said. "All right." She put her back in the tub. She washed her all over. She washed her face. She washed out her ears. Cleaned out her nose. Washed her mouth. And her eyes. And even her belly button. And then she said, "Julianne, get dressed. Please do not get muddy." "All right, Mama." So Julianne got dressed, put on her clean new shirt, buttoned it up the front, clean new pants, buttoned them up the front, and then she had an idea. She knew that in the mudroom, next to the back door, was some soap. Ha! So she went to the mudroom and she opened up the little closet. She took out a bar of stinky, yellow, smelly soap. Yuck! And she put some in her pocket. And then she reached way back down into the back of that little cupboard and she pulled out another bar of stinky, yucky, yellow soap. Yeah, and she put it in her other pocket, and then she went outside. And she stood on the back step, and she looked all around. She didn't see the mud puddle anywhere. She looked again. Still no mud puddle. So she walked carefully out to her sandbox, and she sat down. And she waited. Still no mud puddle. Then she decided to call him. Hey, mud puddle! No mud puddle. Hey, mud puddle! Still no mud puddle. Huh, all right, I guess he's gone. So she started playing in her sandbox and forgetting all about the mud puddle, but little did she know the mud puddle was there, just behind the garage next door. He snuck out. He climbed over the fence. He went behind the doghouse. He snuck across the lawn, came behind the apple tree where the sandbox was, and just then, Julianne had a feeling. She reached into her pocket and she pulled out a bar of stinky yellow soap. And just then when the mud puddle raised up to get on her head, she threw the soap right in the middle of the mud puddle. And then she reached in her other pocket and she threw that yellow soap right in the middle of the mud puddle. And that was the end of the mud puddle.